Hello students, welcome to the next discussion on the preamble of Constitution. The content of these discussions are introduction, text of preamble, ingredient of preamble and the few keywords. Then significance of the preamble, preamble as a part of Constitution and lastly the amendability of the preamble. So let us start with an introduction. The American Constitution was the first to begin with the preamble. Many countries including India followed this practice. The term preamble refers to the introduction or the preface of the Constitution. It contains the summary or the essence of Constitution. N.A. Palkhiwala, an eminent jurist and constitutional expert, called the preamble as an identity card of the Constitution. That's why in our Constitution the preamble is added and it is an integral part of our supreme law or the Constitution. The preamble to the Indian Constitution is based on objective resolution drafted and moved by Pandit Nehru and adopted by Constituent Assembly. It has been amended by the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976, which added 3 new words: socialist, secular and integrity. The text of preamble. The first page talks about that we the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic and to secure to all its citizens justice about the social, economic and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, 3B equality of status and of opportunity and to promote among them all. Fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact and give to the ourselves this Constitution. Ingredients or the components of the preamble are: source of authority of Constitution. The preamble states that the Constitution derives its authority from the people of India. Nature of the Indian state. It declares the India to be of sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic and republican polity. Objective of the Constitution. Its specific justice, liberty, equality and fraternity as the objective. And the date of adoption of the Constitution is stipulates the November 26, 1949 as the date. There are few keywords that we need to understand and study in the preamble. The first one is sovereign. The word sovereign implies that the India is neither dependency nor dominion of any other nation but the independent state. There is no authority above it and it is free to conduct its own affair, both internal and external. Further, the India's membership of the UNO, that is United National Organization, also in no way constitutes a limitation on her sovereignty. Being a sovereign state, India can either acquire a foreign territory or cede a part of its territory in favor of foreign state. Then the second keyword is socialist. So what about the socialist mean? Even before the term was added by the 42nd Amendment in 1976, the Constitution had a socialist content in the form of certain directive principle of state policy. In other words, what are hitherto implicates the Constitution has now been made explicit. Moreover, the Congress party itself adopted a resolution to establish a socialist pattern of society in its Avadi session as early as in 1955 and took measures accordingly. Notably, the Indian brand of socialism is a democratic socialism and not a communistic socialism, also known as a state socialism, which involves the nationalization of all the means of production and distribution and abolition of private property. Democratic socialism, on the other hand, hold faith in mixed economy, whether both public and private sector coexist side by side. As the Supreme Court says, democratic socialism aims to end poverty, ignorance, diseases, and inequality of opportunity. Indian socialism is a blend of Marxism and Gandhism, leaning heavily towards the Gandhian socialism. Then secular. The term secular too was added by the 22nd Constitution Amendment Act 1976. However, as the Supreme Court said in 1974, although the word secular state were not expressed mentioned in the Constitution, there can be no doubt that the Constitution makers wanted to establish such a state, and accordingly Article 25 to 28 have been included in the Constitution. The Indian Constitution embodies the positive concept of secularism, that is, all religion in our country have the same status and support from the state. Then democratic. Democratic polity, as stipulated in preamble, is based on the doctrine of popular sovereignty, that is, possession of supreme power by the people. Democracy is of two types, direct and indirect. In direct democracy, the people exercises their supreme power directly, as is the case in Switzerland. There are four devices of direct democracy, namely referendum, initiative, recall, and plebiscite. In direct democracy, on the other hand, the representatives elected by the people exercise the supreme power of thus carry on the government and make the law. This type of democracy, also known as representative democracy, and is of two kinds, parliament and presidential. Then republic. Democratic polity can be classified into two categories, that monarchy and republic. In monarchy, the head of the state, that usually king or queen, enjoys the hereditary position, that is, he come into office through the succession. Example, Britain. In republic, on the other hand, the head of the state is always elected directly or indirectly for the fixed period. For example, USA. Therefore, the republic in our preamble indicates that India has an elected head called the president. He is elected indirectly for a fixed period of 5 years. Then justice. The term justice in the preamble embraces three distinct forms: social, economical, and political, secured through a various provision of the fundamental rights and directive principles. Social justice denotes the equal treatment of all the citizens without any social distinction based on the caste, color, race, religion, sex, and so on. It means a sense of privileges being extended to any particular section of the society and improvement in the condition of backward classes like SC, ST, and OBCs and women. Economic justice denotes the non-discrimination between the people on the basis of economic factor. and it involves the elimination of glaring inequality in wealth, income, and property. Then liberty. The term liberty means the absence of restraint on the activities of individual and at the same time providing opportunity for the development of individual personalities. The preamble secures to all citizens of India liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, worship through their fundamental rights, enforceable in the court of law in case of violation. Liberty as elaborated in preamble is very essential for successful functioning of the Indian democratic system. However, liberty does not mean the license to do what one like and has to be enjoyed within a limitation mentioned in the Constitution itself. In brief, the liberty conceived by the preamble or the fundamental right is not an absolute but a qualified. Then equality. The term equality means the absence of special privileges to any section of the society and the provision of adequate opportunities for all the individual without any discrimination. The preamble secures to all citizens of India equality of state and opportunity. This provision embraces three dimensions of equality: civic, political, and economic. Then fraternity. Fraternity means a sense of brotherhood. The Constitution promotes this feeling of fraternity by the system of single citizenship. Also, the fundamental duties say that it shall be a duty of every citizen of India to promote the harmony and the spirit of common brotherhood. Brotherhood means bhaichara. Common brotherhood amongst all the people, and India transcending the religious, linguistic, regional, and sectional diversities. Preamble declares that the fraternity has to as sure to things the dignity of individual and the unity and the integrity of the nation. The word integrity has been added to preamble by the 42nd Constitutional Amendment 1976. Now, we must know what is the significance of the preamble. Significance means the importance of the preamble. The preamble embodies the basic philosophy and the fundamental values, political and moral and religious, on which the Constitution is based. It contained the grand and noble vision of the Constituent Assembly. The preamble is the first precious part of the Constitution. It is the soul of Constitution. It is a key to the Constitution and it is a jewel set in the Constitution. It is a proper yardstick with which one the worth of Constitution measure. Sir Ernest Becker, a distinguished English political scientist, paid a glowing tribute to the political wisdom of the author of the preamble. He described the preamble as the keynote to the Constitution. He was so moved by the text of preamble that he quoted it at the opening of his popular book, Principle of Social and Political Theory, 1951. M. Hidayatullah, a former Chief Justice of India, observed that the preamble resembles the Declaration of Independence of United States of America, but it is more than declaration. It is the soul of our Constitution which lays down the pattern of our political society. Then the preamble as a part of Constitution. One of the controversies about the preamble is as to whether it is a part of Constitution or not. In the Berubari Union case 1960, the Supreme Court said that preamble shows the general purpose behind the several provisions in the Constitution and is thus key to minds of the maker of the Constitution. Further, whether the term used in any article are ambiguous or the capable of more than one meaning, some assistance at the interpretation may be taken from the objective enshrined in the preamble. Despite this recognition of the significance of preamble, the Supreme Court specially opined that the preamble is not a part of constitution. In the Kesavananda Bharati's case, 1973, the Supreme Court rejected the earlier opinion and held that the preamble is a part of constitution. It is observed that the preamble of extreme importance is of extreme importance, and the constitution should be read and interpreted in the light of grand and noble vision expressed in the preamble. In the LIC of India case 1995, also the Supreme Court again held that preamble is an integral part of constitution. Then the amendability of the preamble. The constitution as to whether the preamble can be amended under the article 368 of the constitution arose for the first time in the historical case of Kesavananda Bharati 1973. It was urged that the preamble cannot be amended as it is not a part of constitution. The petitioner contended that the amending power in article 368 cannot be used to destroy or damage the basic element or the fundamental feature of the constitution, which are enshrined in the preamble. The Supreme Court, however, held that the preamble is a part of constitution. The court stated that the opinion tendered by it in a Berubari Union in this regard was wrong, and held that the preamble can be amended subject to the condition that no amendment is done to the basic feature. In the other word, the court held that the basic element or the fundamental feature of the constitution as contained in the preamble cannot be altered by the amendment act under article 368(20). The preamble has been amended only once so far in 1976 by the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act, which has added 3 new words: socialist, secular, and integrity to the preamble. So, in this discussion, we have gone through the preamble, that is introduction, its text, keyword in the preamble, significance of the preamble, and the amendability of the preamble. Thank you for watching.